Then, folks, are we ready to bring in the man of the hour, the guest of honour? Sten, thank you for 5 gifted. That's too much. You're a nutcase. Ready? Right, let's bring him in then. Chaps! Chaps is here!
Hello, hello.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good
Cheers.
evening.
We did this off air,
yeah, cheers to everyone.
Cheers.
To even I brought whiskey.
Because he knew he was coming to my house, everybody.
Even I.
So Chaps brought whiskey.
How was everyone?
Not bad. What can I hear?
Where?
Well, that didn't take long.
Damn, man, okay.
Yeah. This wasn't going to go without a technical hitch, right?
There wasn't.
It's quite funny watching them all run out.
Can I hear?
Is that a clip? Is that a clip? Oh, right, it's a clip of you. I was like, why can't I hear Saber? What in the hell is going on? Yeah, professional streamer, right? Has set his OBS up beautifully. For the chat show. They're saying you're quiet. I'm just going to turn you up a bit. Oh, no, yeah.
Quiet, yeah.
Super quiet. Let's turn you up on. I think it needs to be in here then, eh? What about that now? Say something. Do we see the level?
Am I better? Am I better now?
You're super loud in my
Yeah,
ears.
ASMR. Is that better? Is that better?
That's penis! Perfect. Cam gifting the sub to tier 1 sub to Chaps' bathwater for sale.
He did that to me the other day.
Excellent, man. Chaps' bathwater for sale, whoever that is going to be loving it. Well, these gifted subs.
It's very rare stuff because I rarely take a bath, so
I know.
yeah, get hold of a little
Well, that's how you
vial of that. That's worth a lot.
That's how you keep the market value high, chaps. You keep the supply.
Exactly.
You keep the supply lower than the demand, mate. Look at graphics
Exactly.
cards. Yeah, that's how they're doing it.
Yeah, my bathwater is more exclusive than graphics cards.
That's it. That's it. Chaps bathwater or a 3090. You're sitting there going, oh, I can only afford one. You know what you're going to buy, right? So thanks for coming on, man.
Cheers for having me.
Obviously, when I sort of decided that I was going to do a bit of a chat show, there was only one first guest that I was going to invite on. And as you know,
Leonardo DiCaprio wasn't
and
available.
yeah, and he wasn't available, so so we got you instead. But yeah, like
exactly.
So
I'll go close second to Leonardo.
Ah, yeah, man, Leonardo. Yeah, we're all close second to Leonardo DiCaprio, though, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, man. So like you know, it's been a few. I was going to say a few weeks, but it's actually been a couple of months now. But trying to make this happen, I think the one previous free Friday night you had was well, I was doing my Florence Nightingale bit.
It was, yeah. So I didn't want to take you away from your nursing duties.
Nursing duties, I know, man. So I appreciate you kind of one agreeing to do it and two being so patient while we've tried to align the diaries to make this happen. So
yeah,
it's much appreciated, man, and I'm delighted to have you here.
Happy to be here.
Brilliant. So
Brilliant.
As I was saying to chat before, you can take the boy out of HR, but you cannot take the HR out of the boy. And I intend to make you sit through an excruciating icebreaker exercise.
Which I'm very well prepared for, have you know.
I expected nothing less than the utmost professionalism from you, chaps. I really did.
Exactly.
Just what is this guy like? Just as an example to all of us, chat, isn't he? So 2 truths and a lie. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a little bit of audience interaction on this. So once Chaps has told us his 2 truths and a lie, Cybrus is going to make a little poll in chat, and chat will get to vote on what statement from our guest, Mr. Chaps here, they think is the lie. So you're looking out for the lie. All right, and Cybrus is going to make a poll, just kind of 1, 2, or 3. So statement number 1, if you please, chaps.
Statement number 1. When I was at university and out with the guys on a night out, I was in a bar, and after a few drinks deep, more than a few, I decided that it was the best time to start breakdancing. So I tried to do the worm on a stage, and instead of landing on my hands to complete the move, I fell on my chin, smashed it open.
Wow.
I had to have 6 stitches across my chin, and it wouldn't stop bleeding until I got to the hospital because my blood was so thinned out with alcohol that just nothing could hold the chin together, let's say.
Okay. So breakdancing chin injury is option number 1. Statement number 1. Statement number 2, chaps.
Number 2. When me and my brothers were younger, we used to play football quite a bit, and obviously, naturally, you end up kicking a ball in a house. And me and my brothers, while I was in goal, we decided to play football in the lounge. And I kicked the football so hard to the other side of the room that it actually took my mum's favourite vase off of the shelf, smashed it to pieces. We blamed it on a cat that came in to the house and knocked it over.
So just like there was a cat and it came in.
The cat came into the house and scrambled up onto the shelf and knocked the vase off.
And we have to assume that you didn't have a cat.
We did not have a cat as a pet, no.
Right. Okay. So made up cat would be statement number 2, and statement number 3.
Statement number 3. When I was younger, my first job was a paper round. One of my paper round routes, I was desperately needing a poo when delivering the papers. Luckily, I was near one of the last houses for the delivery. I couldn't hold it in any longer, so I had to go. So I went into this bush, which was sort of below quite a low tree. I had to hide. I took a poo, and then I used one of the newspapers that I was delivering to wipe my ass. I then had to go back to the paper shop and blame it on the rain. That's why the paper got soaked, and go and deliver a new one.
Okay, so statement number 3. The sun is
Poo
a
scan. Poo gate.
The sun is a shite rag confirmed. Oh man, I really hope that's the real one. I really hope that's one of the truth, chaps. Oh, magic. Okay, so Cyprus is going to start a poll, and we're going to let that run.
Quite literally.
Quite literally down the back. Literally down the back of your leg. Awesome, man. No, that's brilliant. You want to give that poll like maybe 10 minutes, Cyprus, and we'll see how that plays out.
Have you got polls active? Because I can't seem to find it, mate.
It's just /poll. Yeah, you should be able to do it /poll. If not, I can do it. It's fine.
Okay.
So one of the things you mentioned there was about growing up with brothers. Remind me again how many brothers you've got and where you fall in the pecking order.
I'm not sure if I've already told anyone this before. I have a lot of brothers. I have no sisters, but I have 7 brothers. Half brothers as well, but I have 7 brothers.
So there's 7 of you in total.
8, including me.
Including you. I mean, that's how sums work, isn't it? So what's the kind of age spread?
So me and my 2 older brothers there's 4 years apart. So there's my oldest brother, then my other brother. So Danny and Joey, they're my 2 older brothers, and then there's 2 years to me after that. And then there's about 8 years between me and my next brother.
Right.
And then they're all down from then. They're all like a year or 2 apart.
Cool.
Quite a few brothers.
A few. As an only child, it always fascinates me. People growing up in big families. So, what was your second statement again, chaps? What was the headline for that one? So I've got
playing football.
Oh yeah, made up cat, wasn't it?
Made up cat, that's it.
Yeah. So we've got breakdancing injury, made up cat, and shite rag.
Shite rag.
I'm gonna give that 10 minutes. Oh no, it's not gonna let me use shite rag. Stupid Twitch.
Can't you just put sh*t?
Aye.
It won't let you have shite.
I know.
It's offensive.
Right, it's going to cost you 10 channel points for a vote as well. Breakdancing.
That was a hard bargain.
I'm going to call it Paperboy or something. Paperboy. Right, which is the lie? There we go. So yeah, as an only child, it always fascinates me. Like especially brothers. Like I imagine you had to learn to like fend for yourself at a pretty early age, or like eat or be eaten.
Yeah, kind of in a way. I generally got on with my brothers. Naturally, as sort of someone that grows up in a family, like and we've got quite a big family, sort of cousins as well and stuff like that, aunties and everything. But yeah, growing up with like sort of two older brothers was kind of you kind of had to sort of learn to sort of fend for yourself and sort of have a stiff upper lip sometimes, like straight away, because man, you let any sort of emotion out or anything like that, they'll get you. They'll get you. They'll. One of the this was probably one of the worst moments of my life, and this is not scarred me enough not to have it, but it scarred me enough not to eat it for like 10 years. I was once pinned down by my brothers and my stepdad, and they force fed me Coleman's mustard when I was like 8 years old.
Right.
Bullying. Yeah, you could say bullying, but that like it's sort of like, so you sort of that's the sort of thing you just got to like take on the chin sort of thing, like you just got to like fucking just get on with it. But like it's kind of like everything, like when we used to like wrestle and everything like that, if you didn't go in with 110% with the intent to hurt the other person, you would be the person that got hurt. So so you sort of had to sort of make sure that you were known and your presence was there, otherwise you were left behind.
It's easy to get lost in the mix when there's so many of you, kind of thing, I suppose.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why did they do that? Like, why did they hold you down and
because they're bastards. They're
cunts,
bastards.
Right? That's a bastard.
Because they're just absolute cunts.
That's a bastard. It wasn't even grey poop on, chaps. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't even.
No, they just, I don't know. They just felt like they wanted to bully me one day.
Oh man, that's grim. But you all get on okay now.
I'm really close to my brother. I've always been close to my brothers, but obviously you have the growing pains of sort of growing up with like sort of older brothers, especially with older brothers. You sort of like you've always got to sort of like watch your back or anything like that. But no, I've always had a good relationship in general with my brothers, which is good, like sort of thing.
Nice,
so I've always had a good relationship with family.
Cool. I see. Being an only child, I had a lot of cousins that were kind of around my age. So like as much as I was kind of on my own at home, like at weekends, like we'd all kind of stay over with grandparents and stuff like that. So there was always a few of us. Yeah. But because I was the oldest, I was always the kind of the alpha dog. I was a shit when I was a kid. Like it was probably me that was holding the cousins down, fucking force feeding them something disgusting.
Yeah, for sure.
But that's mad. So remind me again, where's the age spread? So your oldest brother is how much older than you?
4 years older than me.
4 years. And your youngest brother is how much younger?
My youngest brother is now, I believe, terrible with birthdays and knowing people's ages. It's just one of my faults in life. I think he's 15 now. So he's 15. Like, so there's about a 16-year difference
age gap.
to my youngest brother. Yeah.
No, that's mad, man. That's like kind of like my sister's a bit like that. She's got 3 older brothers. Her oldest brother's like in his late 60s, and her youngest brother's like in his late 50s, and then she's like 43. So there's like a big age gap.
Yeah.
Like, do you find like the younger ones, they kind of look at you more like, does that feel like a brother relationship, or does that feel like a?
I've always had a good relationship with them. Like, to be fair though, like a lot of the when they were sort of, I mean, when they were growing up, sort of thing. A like I was off in university really, so I didn't really spend much time with them per se. I did with sort of the next brother to me and sort of the brother under that sort of thing. I spent a fair amount of time sort of around them, but when obviously I went to university, like my youngest brother was sort of, he was only a few years old at the time, so even though sort of I sort of knew him and everything like that, like I didn't actually spend that much time with him growing up, because I moved to Cardiff and I was there for 4 years. Then I moved to London for a year. So like I missed like a good like sort of 5-6 years of him growing up sort of thing. So, but obviously I've been back in Chichester now sort of thing. Like, but I'm pretty terrible sometimes at sort of meeting up with like family and catching up with everyone, because like just work and being busy and just trying to see everyone. I'm really terrible at fitting people in sometimes. Something I always want to try and improve on and stuff like that. But yeah, so like I wouldn't say I've had a bad relationship, but I just haven't really had a massive relationship with my youngest brothers, just because of
like a 16-year age
say,
gap's a long age gap though, isn't it? Like
yeah, it really is.
You do like think about how much have you got in common with him? Like that's like the age gap almost between me and.
Well, that's kind of it. Like, and obviously I see them when I go and see like my mom and stuff like that, and I'll see them. But yeah, it's kind of difficult sometimes, because yeah, it's sort of. I mean, what do you have in common with them? I'm sure more than I think and everything like that. But it's yeah, it's quite a difficult one in that sense, sort of thing. So, but in general, I have a great relationship with all my family. I always have, sort of thing.
Stuff.
They've always helped me out and always done a lot for me. So.
What was 4 years in Cardiff like? Surrounded by that many Welsh people, that couldn't have been good.
4 years in Cardiff was a great time. I met a lot sort of lifelong friends there, sort of thing. And obviously university was a lot of fun. Studied there, got everything I needed to do with that done. And as I say, I worked there. Sort of, I worked in the Spoons or Wetherspoons when I was there, and I've met so many good friends through working there, and sort of some of the relationship I would never ever sort of give up, or I would never forget, sort of thing. So there's a lot of memories from Cardiff, and probably some of the like best years of my life, sort of thing. Like I did a lot of growing up in Cardiff, a lot of growing up, and that was due to sort of like, I don't know, friendships and stuff. I felt a bit more. I felt more of an adult when I was there, because I was sort of fending for myself. Sort of the first year and a bit sort of thing was very much I'm let loose and I'm away from home sort of thing. But in my sort of second year and third year, especially, sort of like I grew up a lot, and it taught me a lot of life lessons and stuff, and through relationships and friendships and stuff like that. Like I certainly became sort of the person I am today, sort of thing. Because I think I'm always quite a shy person, and I always say this, and I think people find that quite hard to believe, but I am actually quite a shy person in general. So, and I very much was, in a sense, when I went to university. I put on a big front, but in general, I was quite a nervous person. But yeah, those years really sort of helped knock that out of me a bit more, and sort of not become so much of a socially inept. Let's say that.
I get that though, man. Like this is all put on. Like I'm a really shy guy. Like
yeah.
Like I always remember, like when Gina and I first got together. So like, as you know, like I've been with my wife for a long time. We got married when I was 22. We've been married 21 years now. But when we first got together, she's like, "How did you not know I liked you?" And I was like, "I don't know. Just like I'm super shy, and I would never have did anything about it. Like it took her friend to come over to me in the the dancing." And the nightclub this one night to be like, "Do you like her?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Well, we'll wait here," and like went away and got her, kind of thing. But like I would never have like I'm like that as well, man. I'm like super shy. Like as I say, I just play like a really confident, funny guy on the internet. You know, it's
couple of beers helps normally. That's what I find. But yeah.
That's a slippery slope, though. As I find.
Oh, it is. It certainly is. It certainly is. Yeah. Oh, a couple more help. But yeah, but sort of like, yeah, I mean, always takes the edge off. But yeah, I mean, I've become more confident now, and even sort of like I feel much more comfortable in a social situation, sort of in my latter years of life so far, than I ever did when I was younger.
Aye. Yeah. So it was was it media, radio? That was that kind of thing you did at uni, wasn't it?
So yeah, so when I did terrible at school. Like I just could not adapt. Like I could just not focus. I couldn't adapt to the way that school was. Like it was very much it was so structured that I just couldn't get along with it, and I just found it really hard to concentrate. Like I find it really hard just to focus myself on one thing in such a short amount of time, and really apply myself. And going to college where I studied media, and one of my subjects of choice was to do radio. So that's where I first started doing radio, and we would do some live shows, like broadcast across the campus, like a couple times a year. And we would so we would do that, and like that's where my love of radio come. And a lot of that was just like a lot of like just general media stuff, like journalism and stuff like that when we first started doing it. But radio really stood out to me, and I really enjoyed the creative side of it. I mean, I that's when I started to really enjoy music and start getting to music when I went to college and stuff. Obviously, you meet so many varied people at at college. You meet so many varied people that my love of sort of music started to sort of, my horizons were broadened, and sort of radio started to really speak to me as a person. And that's why. And I actually wasn't going to go to university that year. What actually happened was my friend was just like, I'm going to an open day at Cardiff. Do you want to come down? Like, we'll just drive up really early. We'll drive down. We'll stay the night, and then we'll come back the next day. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. Like, I mean, like, if anything, because I was thinking about going to university, but I was going to put it off for a year, and I'm glad I didn't. But I thought, oh no, let's go. May as well. Let's go over there, and we'll check it out, sort of thing. And had it go. And so as soon as I got there and had a look around the campus and saw the equipment that they use, and how the sort of courses were broken down into all their sort of different subjects and everything like that, I was like, shit, can I apply? So I applied like there and then, got on the course, which was great.
Easy course to get onto then. It wasn't like.
Well, I mean, I had to have one. Well, in college, they call it like a distinction merit sort of thing. So I had to have one distinction, 2 merits, sort of, which was equivalent to. I mean, I assume it was. I don't even know what it's equivalent to, but anyway, I needed relatively good grades, but I was doing quite well in college, sort of thing. So I just needed to apply myself for the rest of the year to get on the course, which I did. And we ended up going, and me and my friend, a good friend of mine, Ruben's become a real good friend of mine over the years, sort of thing. We moved in the same halls together, and sort of we've been friends ever since. And obviously we met a lot of good friends in our halls who've become sort of like lifelong friends as well. And that was it really. Like, radio really took off. We started working for the university radio station that was put together, which was I think not named after my favorite drink. It was called Tequila Radio. So obviously, whenever we used to go out, the drink of choice was tequila. Between all the sort of radio, the radio workers, and I mean, that was just the worst part of the evenings for me, was having to drink tequila. But
I know Jen's going to have something to say about it, but like, tequila is that drink that I can't drink because it has tried to kill me too many times. I don't know if it's the same for you.
I like good quality tequila. Bad quality tequila can go and suck a nut, but good quality tequila I can drink. But we used to always like drink tequila. But in the second year, we took me and my friends took more of a role within the student radio station. And then we ended up running it for our last year as well. So not tequila's hold your link. I'm watching chat.
Oh yeah, man, tequila is like my worst ever tequila story was. And like the local nightclub, you know, every town, like I don't know if it's the same down where you live, chaps, but like every town up here has like the shite nightclub in it, like the you only go to if you don't want to go into like your nearest big town. So if we weren't going into Glasgow, then we would stay in East Kilbride and we would go to like the local shitey dancing. And I remember, like, me and my mates were all in there and ordering up like a rack of tequilas, and everybody being like, "Nah, I'm all right." And then me drinking all of those tequilas, and then just being absolutely just ill.
Yeah.
And I think honestly, like I must have been 17 when that shit happened, so it was like a long fucking time ago, right? And I honestly don't think I've ever drunk tequila again since. And I swear if I smelled it now, I'd be sick.
I don't drink it often. It's certainly not the drink for me. But whenever we meet up with our friends, there's always one on the bar at least, and it's just like, I'll do it for the memories. I do it for the memories. That is it.
You want to numb them or to
Yeah, yeah. All the times I had to drink it before. But yeah, I don't know. University, just like it was a good time, and as I say, like radio lent it's been fantastic, really. Like because streaming and radio is very much gone hand in hand for me. It's another medium of interacting with an audience, right? It's instead of me playing music and talking about topical things and talking about daily news and everything like that, I'm playing video games and I'm talking about daily things or just memories or just random things that I can engage with an audience with. And the fact that I've fallen into streaming from radio is for me is a total win. Because even though I love music and I can listen to music all day while I stream, I'm playing video games, which is a huge passion of mine. So without sort of the direction and the awesome people that I've met through university and the lecturers that I worked with over my 3 years, sort of I wouldn't be here right now. I wouldn't be doing this. So yeah, I'm very thankful for all my time that, and I'm thankful that I applied myself to university, because as I say, school I did very bad at, but having that lease of life, new lease of life at college and at university, and actually being treated like an adult rather than someone that has to be there, it just helped me so much. It really did.
It sounds like I had a very similar experience at high school. So I was not an academic kid at high school.
Yeah.
Like I was smart enough, like first and second year, like I did okay. You know, got good marks in tests and stuff like that. But then when it came like time for the nitty gritty to sit exams and stuff like that, like I wasn't all that interested. And like, but I think where our sort of stories seem to diverge is like you went and found something that you were interested in, that you were passionate about, and I went and just did like what I thought was the right thing to do. Like I went along and did like analytical chemistry. Can you imagine me being an analytical chemist? Sitting in a lab, like doing this all day, just like putting wee drops of stuff into it. Like I'd have murdered a lot of people by now if I didn't do that job, right? But I've always like I think I've Project and I know we've definitely had this conversation, and I think Cybris and I have had this conversation. Like thinking about like from a streaming perspective, like I always say like your experience from doing that radio piece, like as a viewer, really comes across. There are a lot of guys like that start out streaming, and I include myself in this as well. I think like, you know, there's obviously like a class of us from your community sort of coming up behind you, kind of thing, and like I think there's a lot of us could learn from some of the things that you seem to do quite naturally. I think because of that experience in radio that you've got, like about like being like how interactive you are, and about like you know how good you are just about like, you know, filling in dead air. Like you and I have talked about this in the past. Like you'd like one of the things I really struggled with when I first started streaming was like what to do when chat goes quiet. But you're really good at that. So like what I did to get better at that was like I watched what you do. Do you know what I mean? And like it feels like that sort of comes from your background in radio. Would that be? Do you think is that fair to say? Or?
Yeah, as I say, I draw a lot on what I do in streaming from what I did in radio and everything that I've learned, whether it's something I studied or from firsthand from when I was doing sort of hospital radio and I was doing the university radio stations and stuff like that. And it's all sort of, it's all drawn from that at the end of the day. Like, I mean, like chats can go quiet and stuff. And I mean, mine do sometimes. And I sort of, it's because I'm taking a moment, I'm concentrating or whatever, but I just try and just keep it rolling as much as possible, and just start talking about random stuff, really. Like I find it quite easy just to ramble sometimes about whatever subject matter it is. So yeah, I'd certainly 100% would agree with that. Like I draw so much on what I've learned in my time within sort of the radio industry and everything I know about radio, because as I say, at the end of the day, they're pretty similar as a medium of engaging an audience. They're
pretty similar ballparks, right?
That,
it's like it's definitely the same sport, at least, anyway, isn't it? It's
yeah, you're talking about, and you're showing your passion about something that you're presenting every day, whether that's music or whether it's video games. You're still talking to a live audience at the end of the day, and with streaming, it does bring its own pressures of, I mean, depending on how long you stream, but obviously naturally I would stream for 8 to 10 hours, so that's something that I have to do for 8 to 10 hours. But obviously, typically you wouldn't be doing that if you were on radio. So obviously, I'm always trying to better myself. I'm always trying to adapt myself and become better. Always trying to be engaging. I feel like I always need to try and I don't need to be, but I always feel like I need to keep chatting. I need to keep being funny, otherwise, or try and be funny anyway, and to some degree, because if I don't, I feel like I'm starting to lose an audience, or I'm starting to lose the crowd and stuff like that. So I mean, I certainly have my own worries when it comes to streaming and stuff like that. I try not to get too anxious about it. It's not something I'd like to dwell on. It's not something I like to get the better of me. I'm not an anxious person. I don't have anxiety in any way in general. But I don't want to ever let those thoughts ever take over me, because it's something that I feel like could be a slippery slope and could make you worry more. So I always try and I always try and knock that on the head straight away, and try and think of the positives, and try and think of everything that I'm doing right, rather than ever think that I'm doing something wrong. So
yeah, for sure, man. I think that resonates. I know, like with me, I know it resonates with a lot of people, that, you know, a lot of streamers that sort of, you know, I've heard you talk in the past about, like, is this going to be the day where I'm just going to hit go live and fucking no cunt's going to turn up? Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Like, so there's always going to be that little bit of that little bit of nervousness. I think, you know, for me, like, what you do is unbelievable, man. Like, I stream 4 hours most times I stream, and like I get to the end of that and I'm burnt out. Like I'm fucking ready for a nap or whatever. But like to do like your average stream being like 10 hours and to be
I'd say 8.5 to 9, I would say, but yeah.
But like to be entertaining for all that time and be engaging for all that time and to be watchable for all that time, like I'm doing a 12-hour stream next week, and I'm a bit worried about how it's going to go, to be honest.
Oh, you're going to crush it, man. You crush it.
Well, we'll see.
So I just make it into a subathon. Everyone else is at the moment.
Got my Phil Collins mask, chaps. Look.
I can see that. Oh, classic.
Look, that is literally the only thing I've got planned. I've got my Phil Collins mask, and I've got some devil horns to go with the Phil Collins mask. Because Phil Collins is the devil.
Because Phil Collins is the devil, yeah.
Cool. So I'm going to come back. I'm going to come back to some chat about streaming in a little bit, actually, because there are a couple of things actually. Well, I've got you here. I want to pick your brains about a little bit. I want to talk to you about the results of our poll first, about your 2 truths.
Oh, what one? I didn't see it pop up.
So, almost unanimously, people thought you were bullshitting about your ability to breakdance, chaps. Now, I personally, my vote would have gone for the made-up cat. But where did you learn to breakdance?
Oh, do you want me to tell you the answer, or do you want me to give you a bullshit story about me breakdancing?
Tell us the answer. Yeah, tell us the answer.
The answer that is false is C. Me shitting in a bush and then blaming it and having to go get a fresh newspaper.
Oh man, I'm upset about that. I fucking wanted that to be so bad.
That That is the false one.
Oh,
Yes,
man.
I did blame it on a cat breaking the vase when it was us when we kicked the football and actually broke the vase. And yes, I do. You can. I'm not sure if you're able to see. Or maybe I'll show you some other time. But on my chin somewhere, I do have a little bit of hair that doesn't grow, and it's where I did have stitches. I basically, yeah, when I was out, I tried to break dance, and I must have jumped in the air and then not put my hands out, and I landed on my chin, split my chin right open, and yeah. As much as anything they were trying to put on my face to stop the bleeding, like big like plaster things,
Scotty
they
too
weren't
hot.
sticking on. They weren't staying on my face, so I had to go to hospital.
That is
Actually,
brilliant.
to add to that story, I wouldn't go to hospital until I'd eaten a cheeseburger, chips, and chicken nuggets.
Let's just have a round of applause. What a soldier. That's brilliant. So my question about that then is, was that drunk brain telling you, you're going to be amazing at breakdancing, you should definitely fucking do this? Or can you actually breakdance?
I used to. Well, I can't really break dance, but I used to do a little bit when I was younger. I could worm very well when I was younger.
I can see you as a b-boy though, like.
But I did something to my knee when I was growing up, and it kind of busted. So sometimes if I do it now, not that I ever really do it now. I think last time I done it was like 3 years ago. If I ever do it now, sometimes my knee like locks out of place when I'm doing it. So instead of actually pulling it off, I actually am like I'm just a mess on the floor rolling around, grasping my knee.
No, that's such an old guy thing though, man. That's definitely like me in the scooter. Like, I was brilliant at this when I was a boy. Give me a shot, and then you just fucking destroy yourself.
But yeah, so I haven't done it in a long time. But yeah, I used to be able to do it
Oh,
rather
man.
well. Yeah, that was my party trick.
I'm so impressed by you. I'm so impressed that you're out there doing the worm. Fucking injuring yourself. So it's like a proper Harrison Ford Indiana Jones scar on your chin from a breakdancing accident.
Yeah, I mean, I can't remember where it is, but yeah, there's. I'll try and get a picture at some point. But yeah, there is somewhere.
The spinner, Rudy.
It's not really going to show on there. I mean, I haven't got like a big camera, but anyway, like high quality camera to really get in there. But yeah, I do have a little part on my chin where a couple of hairs don't grow because it's there's a scar.
Is that the stupidest way you've ever injured yourself?
Yeah, I would say it is actually. Yeah, I think so. I don't think I've had any other stupid way that I've really injured myself. Oh, when I was a kid, I was like rocking on this like rocking horse in a garden. I slipped off and cracked my head open, but on a brick wall. But I mean, I've done some stupid shit in my life, like not like jumping off like fucking 50-foot building or anything like that. But I don't know. I've just had like random injuries and stuff.
Okay, I think I speak for all of us here assembled then, chaps, when I say we're going to need one of those anecdotes.
Okay. This isn't to me actually, but this was to. This wasn't really an injury to me. But this is a good story.
Oh no, is Discord going funny?
Chichester and
No. Discord.
he fell off and cut his knee open on this pole that was hanging out of this jump.
Sorry, chaps. Discord
there we
went
go.
funny there. Start again.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So first story. He jumped down this stairwell on this by this bank in my hometown of Chichester, and there was sharp stones on the outside of the bank, and he cut his hand up. Okay, so I saw him like literally gouge his hand up. Second one, he went over a jump on his bike, and there was a metal pole hanging out of this like little mound, and he cut his knee open on that. Third one, we were in class together, and we were cutting sticky tape with. I don't know what we were cutting out. I can't remember, but it was like little paper shapes of some sort. And I was sitting there with the scissors going, oh, this feels a bit tough. This feels a bit tough on his thumb. And I sliced right through his thumb in the class, in the middle of the class, right behind like the nail, sort of like the fleshy part of the thumb. Cut right through his thumb, and and I felt so terrible afterwards.
Do you know, when I was in primary school, I was about primary 5. I know it's a like different system here, so I would have been about 10 or 11. There was a kid in my class called Graham Ross, and I fucking hated that kid, right? He was just an asshole. And there was this, and he sat opposite me in the group. It was probably the spazzy group, to be honest. It's probably the group for the thick kids. So we sat, but like the whole morning, he's just making a wee noise, going like, to be annoying. Just to be really. So I stabbed that kid in the hand with a pencil. And he never fucking. And he never fucking done that shit again.
Oh,
like I probably probably flew across the fucking table and stabbed him in the hand with a pencil. But it was the 80s, you could do stuff like that in the 80s, it was fine. And
back in the 80s, you could stab anyone.
Fucking
It was fine. It was.
I don't even think they phoned my parents or nothing. Like, I don't even remember getting in trouble for that.
I got away with that one. That sounds good.
Totally, I stabbed Graham Ross. Everybody used to call him
Simpler
Toaster.
times, mate. Simpler
Everybody
times.
used to call him Toaster because he had a big rectangular head. You know?
Oh god. Toaster.
Oh man, big Toaster.
That's classic.
Callum gifted his son to Graham Ross. I hope it's not him. I still hate that kid. He did something. Oh my god, that's brilliant.
Oh fucking hell.
Oh dear. Oh man.
Ryan. Graham Ross.
Penis. So the made up story was a story about you shitting in the bush.
Yeah.
So tell me about the story about the made up cat then. Did your folks, did they believe you that shit or?
No, my mum didn't go with that one. No. She didn't believe it. She knew we were playing football in the house. Because we used to always do that. So yeah, she knew it wasn't that. So we tried to get away with it. I mean, she was fine about it, but yeah, she definitely knew we were lying.
Nice one. See, that was like that must be the other good thing about having brothers is like you can always like just do like Reservoir Dogs at the end, just like fucking point at each other. No, it was him. It was him. I'd no
yeah,
clue.
I mean, to be fair, like, yeah, basically you could sort of blame it as long as they weren't around. You could kind of blame it on them, sort of thing. But they were good for me. I mean, they used to buy me when I used to start going to parties and stuff. They used to buy me booze and stuff. So, you know, they were pretty good. They had their uses.
Yeah, see, I used to have to befriend older kids for that. Like, I never had any older siblings.
Hang outside the shops.
Used to be like, I had a mate that was in my basketball team, that we hung around with, and he was old. He was like a year older, but he looked older because he was tall and that. He used to go in for us. He used to get his hash as well. He was always your hookup for a bit. For a bit of
It's whatever we needed.
Back in the day, Dave was like that guy, you know, that guy that's in every jail film. Could get you anything. Like Terry Crews in The Longest Yard. You want McDonald's? He's that guy, he's got a cheeseburger down his pants, he was like that kind of guy. Cool. Oh man, that's funny shit. Anyway, so like I like that. I know I kind of said I didn't really want to make this all about streaming. I think we've talked enough about other stuff that we can talk a little bit about streaming. So like, who for you is that one streamer that you watch that you just go and like, that's someone I really aspire to be like as good as that person. So like I know for both of us, Jay is like a big influence kind of thing.
I mean, you kind of covered it there. Like Jay is just if anyone doesn't know Jay Sniperton, he's been sort of like he's been like a huge influence for me ever since I started sort of streaming. Obviously a big influence anyway because he's just a dude, right? He's just a guy that's sort of providing for his family. He's just a genuine guy. Likes to look after his community. Likes to sort of make sure everyone's okay. Likes to just have a laugh, likes to just play video games. That's all he's ever been about, right? That's what he's always been about, and that's why everyone loves him so much, because he is just a genuine guy. He's not trying to be anyone he's not, like, or anyone that he needs to be. He's just being himself, and he's I mean, I started watching. I mean, I literally the other day I subbed to him for 4 years. So I've been hanging out in the community just over 4 years, I think, because and I've sort of been on Twitch for about. I think he was one of the first streamers. I think one of the first streamers I actually watched was probably. I think it was probably like King of Alien or someone like that sort of thing. It was quite a big name in the Destiny community at the time, so would have been a name that I'd latched onto straight away, especially when I was sort of getting into Destiny. Especially Twitch, and Jay was one of the first streamers that I found, but certainly is the stream that I've spent the most time within the community, and yeah, just everything about him. Like a lot of the stuff that I do is very much modeled on what he would do, and that's not to be stealing his ideas and his practices and stuff like that, but I mean, he just does it so well, and I mean,
we've all stolen bits from Jay though, like.
Yeah, I mean, if you dissected like about six people from Jay's community streams, it's basically just Jay's stream, just elements taken from it. But I don't know. As I say, like I like to feel like I'm quite a genuine person, so I would like to feel like my streams would naturally turn out quite like Jay's anyway. But it's hard not to take influences from someone who's just that much of a dude, really. It's hard not.
Was that what kind of inspired you to do helps and stuff like that on your stream, to like make that the focus here?
Yeah, to a certain degree. Yeah, I mean, I've always loved PvE, and I'm not like the most talented PvP player.
Not like me with my 0.97 KD and banner.
Yeah, I mean, you're just living it right now, right? You're just. I hear there's people about to sign you up, bro. So
FaZe were on the phone earlier, and I was like, I'm waiting for some other offers.
yeah. I'm sure G want to be on the phone soon, mate.
FaZe the dude.
But yeah, I don't know. Like I've always been more into the PV, especially in Destiny anyway. Sort of, and obviously it's the main game I do play. But I've mainly been into the PV side, sort of thing. And I don't know. Helps just sort of came about. Obviously, first of all, with Never Blinking, we sort of with Moments of Triumph, helping people sort of get their Anarchies from Scourge of the Past, running loads of Crown of Sorrows, running Leviathan, stuff like that, helping people with their first runs ever, or helping people that have not done it in a long time, or people that wanted to grind out to get their Anarchy, and etc. etc. And the help's kind of gone from there. I didn't think that I would continue doing helps that often following from Moments of Triumph at that point. Obviously, this is going back to last July, right? Was it last July sort of time that we were doing it? So I didn't think that I would continue doing like PV helps, not at the rate I was doing it, especially over Moments of Triumph. But I just, when I was doing it, I really enjoyed it, and seeing the elation and the happiness from people when they were finishing these activities, just finishing the activities that they thought they would never maybe be able to conquer, and B, getting the loot that they were getting. It just, I don't know, it gave me a good feeling, and helps just sort of came from there. And we've built a community around sort of helping people, and I wouldn't have it any other way. It means that we've got selfless people in our community that are willing to take the time to impart wisdom and help that other guardian get their loot and get that clear, and just have a good time, right? Just have a good time, because that's what video games are about. They're about having a good time. They're not meant to be stressful. You don't escape your stressful life to go into a video game to be stressed, right? I hope not, anyway. And that's not what video games are about. Video games are about escaping the real world and just taking a moment to yourself just to think,
man,
all this pressure on my shoulders has been relieved. That's all it is.
Ain't that the truth though, man? Like this, like I've said this to you before, and I've said this on my own streams. Like this last 18 months since COVID and stuff like that, like the online communities that I'm part of have been such a lifeline for me, like over that period. You know, especially yours. You know, I've said to you before, I've totally found a home in your community over the last 18 months and stuff, and
Yeah.
like that just has been like an absolute lifesaver to me. Like, I think it's the power of streaming and the power of like especially a community like Destiny. And not, you know, and not like there aren't some dodgy bits of the Destiny community, but like in the main, it's a community that is sort of focused on or does have an element of focus on kind of doing good and stuff like that. I think that your community especially feels like so there have been other communities that I've been part of in the past that feel like where you are now, like where your community is with your Discord and stuff like that, and that element of help and that element of like organizing games and playing together and stuff like that. You know, and notwithstanding some pretty terrible scandal, like those are big communities, and those are you know those are big streamers. You know, folk that have kind of really gone from strength to strength. I think for me, like, as someone who's been there for like, I guess the better part of your journey from where you started to where you are now.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Like that has just been such an enjoyable thing to watch and to be part of, and to feel like, you know, I'm not going to say like, you know, and I think it would be really arrogant for any of us to say that we've sort of contributed to that, but like to certainly have been part of it and to have been there to say, you know, I was there to watch that happen. Like it's for me, it's genuinely kind of one of the best things that I've been part of on Twitch, and you know, I kind of include myself starting streaming in that as well, because I don't think I would have, like, I think had it not been for discovering you and your community and the way you were and sort of seeing some parallels, I wouldn't have went like, I think I can actually do that. Do you know what I mean? I mean, there are a few of us, you know, in the community that stream that I think, you know, yourself and Jay and a few other people have been a big part of. Leopard for me is like that guy that I watch and go, man, he does what I want to be able to do, like, so fucking well.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you got people like that, like Leopard, that just absolutely crush it on a daily basis. And to be honest, he's not even like, and it sounds rude to say it, but because he puts a lot of effort into stream. There's a lot of there's a lot of production go to a stream, but in the grand scheme of things, he doesn't do a lot. He just plays the video game.
He just plays the game
with his
and
audience.
He talks shit.
He talks shit. He plays the video game and he tests himself by trying to solo everything, sort of thing.
Aye.
He's a self-obsessed guy who will just always say that he's not great at a video game. He's not great at the game. He's not this person that can pull off a 15 KD a match every time. Like, he's not someone that's going to solo something first time and just be like, look, done.
But he'll persevere until it's done. Like, he'll take 300 tries at solo on a GM.
But he is so self-obsessed that when he gets something underway and when he gets his ideal set on something and completing it, he'll do it. And he's a legend like that. And there's other people in the community like that. And as I say, he's just the guy that plays the video game, talks to his audience, and challenges himself.
Who are the ones out there that you're watching going, that person's doing something interesting, or that person's doing something individual? You know,
for me at the moment, I mean, I'm always been a big fan of a few people in the stream, and like, not people that I've ever spoken to. I don't really interact with their chats, but a few people in the like, for me, like, let's say one of the bigger, I'll give you an example of like a few streamers that I sort of like from different spectrums, sort of thing. One of the top streamers I think that I probably watch more is Grenada Jake. Like, he seems like he's quite a genuine guy, whether you like him or not. But for me, he's super passionate about Destiny, super passionate about PvP, and he's just for me, he's quite a dude to watch, and he's very entertaining to watch as well.
Yes.
He's got a great community. As I say, I never interact with his community. I normally just lurk, sort of thing.
Same.
But someone on the bigger scale for me, like he is a guy that's just absolutely killing it in his field. And I would also put, if you were going to go to a PV side, like Leopard Stealth, like sort of in his own way, is also one of those people that I would sort of watch.
Yeah. Like I watch Jake a lot, mostly because I'm trying to win a fucking raffle to get carried to the lighthouse in this channel. Like because Trials has been something that's been interesting me more in the last few weeks than it ever has been. I've been hanging out in Jake's stream a lot more than I ever would, and you know what? Like that guy has got it nailed. Like as look, as feel, as presentation, as entertaining, as interaction. Like, and bear in mind that's a 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 person chat that is going like a fucking ticker tape machine that he's keeping up with and interacting with, while he's absolutely slaying in the game. Like,
yeah, exactly. Like I like there's not many people in the community that can focus so much attention onto their chat and also slay out in games, and he's one of the guys, and that's I think I respect that in a lot of ways, because like his multitasking ability is just is it's unheard of for a male. Let's say that much. But
that must be a very satisfied wife that he has. That's a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. Must have at least 6 arms, like 6 hands. But I'd say
dexterous fingers.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just thinking, like, there's other people sort of like EK as well. I would say there's sort of like mid tier streamer.
He's
like
not someone I've ever really watched. I'm really aware of EK, but like, why EK?
EK, I don't know. He's just, again, it's just a nice chill dude. Like he's super talented in the PV side of things. Like he's very knowledgeable about everything that goes on within the game. His ability and I think again it goes to that sort of like helping side of things. Like his GM counts through the roof. I think he like pushed 3k helps like recently, or done 3k GMs like of help sort of thing. Another selfless person that does a lot for the community, and it's just a chill dude that just wants to see those Guardians succeed, right? So I see EK, and obviously Jay's sort of fitting into that bracket as well, that mid-tier bracket of like absolutely crushing it and just being a genuine person and really interacting with his community and making sure that he's just there for everyone, right? Doing so much for St. Jude every year and everything like that. Absolutely kills that. He does have a charity stuff through the year and stuff. So, and obviously we, as a team Ahamkara, we did a charity event recently, obviously, which you were part of, and sort of seeing other people do charity throughout the year and the way Jay does it and stuff like that. And just, I've always wanted to do it, but I've always been nervous about doing it, and finally doing it and doing and the team smashing it over the week. I can see why people love to do charity streams and why it means so much. And I sort of like I took inspiration almost from Jay about how he would structure a charity stream and how best to sort of capitalize in a sense to benefit the charity as much as possible. So EK and Jay, sort of that mid-tier bracket, and then obviously someone that's sort of really crushing it at the moment at that sort of, I wouldn't say lower level, but sort of in terms of if you were going to put it into brackets, D Flawless at the moment for me is just absolutely crushing it. Obviously, he's just on another level with his content. Certainly, whether you're a small streamer or a big streamer right now, he's a guy that you can look up to and certainly take inspiration from.
I think D Flawless is one of those guys that it doesn't matter. I think what he's got cracked is that what a lot of Twitch streamers don't understand is that the best way to grow your channel almost is not on Twitch. It is by finding people on other platforms and funneling them into your Twitch. And D Flawless is everywhere. It doesn't matter what social media app I open, D Flawless is there. Whether it's Twitter,
and he's TikTok, posted this new video on everything.
Exactly. He is an example of how to grow outside of Twitch like nobody else is. actually, if you
Yeah.
watch his Twitch streams, there's nothing particularly special about them. I
But
personally don't think they're good, and he's a good and engaging streamer. But there are plenty of other good engaging streamers out there. What he does really, really well is
he certainly props up his streams with other
with
content
the other
for sure.
as the
Yeah.
other content, 100%. I'm a big fan of D Flawless. I think the guy is
Yeah, and he's hit the market really well
Yeah.
with what he's doing, and yeah, big props to that guy.
Like,
'cause
even
he's certainly hitting everything that he needs to.
my wife, who doesn't watch Twitch, or she doesn't even watch me actually, but like
Yeah.
she's just got no interest. It's not her world, right? But like, I've showed her
Oh, I know
D-Flawless.
that.
I've showed her D-Flawless videos, and she's been like, "That's really fucking funny." Like when he does the ante and he does like, all that
Yeah.
stuff. Like she's thinking Big Mama's house, and that's really funny. And like that sort of
It
stuff.
kind of plays on that. It kind of plays on that sort of the Big Mama's House sort of Eddie Murphy sort of sketch style sort of comedy, and
he's sharp and he's smart and he's funny. I like D-Flawless for all of that stuff. Like, as I say, in terms of his streams, his streams are good and he's entertaining, but that's not. That's not the thing that's not the thing that's made me a fan of his. That's definitely not the thing that's made me a fan of his. It's the YouTube stuff and the TikTok stuff and the the Twitter stuff and all that.
and he sort of it hits the nail on so many different fronts. So I'd say in the sort of smaller bracket, D Flawless is someone that's like an inspiration to that sort of extent, because he's a hard worker. He grafts his brand, and he's certainly hitting the right mark,
like there's
I
a fucking, you can tell there is an amount of effort that goes into those videos that I'm just like,
yeah, absolutely.
I can be asked for that. Like,
yeah, that's a lot. Yeah, that's a lot, right?
Oh, it's like a lot of work. I'm just gonna.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go sit on the sofa. I'm just gonna go chill out for a bit. I'll do that later.
Just gonna go out in the woods and look at the trees for half an hour instead.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go and shit in a bush and wipe my ass with newspaper.
Gonna try and master the worm.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Awesome, man. Yeah, like I think for me, like those names are definitely all names that would be on my list. I think that like visually, if you look at my stream, you'll see like I can see like this guy really likes Leopard because it's like the green screen and the big me in the corner and all that kind of stuff. Like visually, I think my stream looks quite like his, and that's really on purpose because I really admire the guy.
Yeah.
But like that see the level of creativity of like the kid in the back of the car and like the soldier guy talking about the PvP play and like when a hype train starts, the stage and all of that stuff. Like I just like that.
Yeah.
I just think fucking the effort that's gone into that, the thought that's gone into that, the creativity that's gone into that. I just find him a really engaging guy, and like even like like his ability to bring his missus in and just go for a walk. And you'll still fucking sit and watch that, like, do you know what I mean? Like that's how entertaining that guy is.
For 10 minutes,
it's rubbed off on his wife. Do you know what I mean? Tripaloski. Like, yes, Callum's here in the chat with the Tripaloski. Tripaloski. I fucking love that dude, man. I swear. Like,
yeah. So it's like, I don't know, and what I love about the Destiny community, and I know we're sort of, that was all sort of Destiny creators, but obviously that's what I'm mainly involved with, sort of thing. But the Destiny community is kind of in the past couple of years had a big resurgence of the streamers, sort of. Yeah. It kind of out with the old, in with the new, and I don't mean that in a rude way, but
it's like a generational shift, though. There's like a whole.
Yeah, there was, and the Destiny community got rid of a few bad eggs, right? Got rid of a few bad eggs, and obviously there are still people that play it, but a lot of the people that played it from D1 and went really hard on Destiny, they're more variety streamers now than they ever were. Sort of, they are Destiny streamers now. So it's sort of paved the way for, a generational shift. Let's say that. That's the great way of sort of naming the change. And there was a huge generational shift, and a lot more younger streamers came through, and a lot of passionate people about Destiny and who only play Destiny, and it changed the directory like massively.
Sure.
And yeah, and you can see it with sort of a lot of those, and they're not like not all of them are the big streamers, like, right? Like they might be pulling in like 100, 150, 200. I mean, that's huge. I would love that, but yeah, but you know what I mean? Like they're not the 4,000, 5,000 sort of streamers that Destiny used to have. I feel like Destiny used to have a lot of big streamers pulling in thousands of viewers, and then there was streamers that were very low down and not pulling many in at all. And I feel like that's been spread out a lot more now in the directory, and there's a lot more of a spread between creators, and
yeah, for sure.
I like to see it because it's brought a lot of difference to the directory, which I love to see. And yeah, it's more broad, I think, than it used to be, which is
I think
nice to see.
it's a much more. I'm not saying it's like the Destiny community has got everything correct, because there are still issues in there. I think it feels like a much more inviting and inclusive place than it ever has from a streamer's perspective. I think, you know, gone are the days where Goth and Broman would sit at the top of the directory and hoover up all the viewers. I think at weekends you get folk like Jake, through the week you've got folk like Lep, but like the rest of the time you're talking about, like, you know, people like Jay with like 300-400 viewers. You're talking about, like, you know, Aztec Ross around about the same kind of numbers. And then there's like a whole bit chunk in the middle that is like somewhere between like 70 and 200, and that's that's like the biggest chunk of the Destiny directory. And do you know what? There are a lot of fucking names in there that, you know, you're in there, Pigeon's in there, Anubis is in there, OB Kitty Cat's in there. There's like a lot of really interesting, good streamers making really good quality content in that middle of the directory, which in the past, in the days when Goth and Broman and Darkness 429 were sitting at the top of the Destiny directory and nobody else was getting a look in, like, these would be people that were sitting with 20 viewers.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And the directory is flourishing a lot more now, I feel. There's more opportunities. Do you know what? Like, when I first started streaming, I was just like, Destiny, I'm going to start streaming it, sort of thing. But I was like, I don't have a shot in like hell, sort of thing. Like, I feel like some of the time within my life, I was sort of like, I didn't take the easy route out or something like that. Like with radio, like I could have pursued it harder than I did, but again, I get quite nervous as when I'm doing stuff, and I kind of probably didn't put my all into radio when I was doing it. I probably could have put a lot more energy into it, but I didn't, and I kind of regret that. But then I also don't, because obviously it's led me here, and I'm very much a person that believes in things that happen for a reason. So, but with streaming, I've certainly given a lot more effort than I ever have anything else. And that's the same. Like I was in a restaurant, and there's nothing wrong with working in a restaurant. There's nothing wrong working in a house of hospitality. I actually quite enjoy it. And again, it sort of very much fits in with streaming, because what are you doing all day? You're talking to people. You're customer facing sort of thing. But I always wanted to stream, and I always wanted to do it, and I didn't take that opportunity until furlough last year, which gave me a great opportunity to just sit down and stream and just really give it my all. And it's, I don't know, it's been a difficult time, and I feel like the Destiny community now, like, it was I don't know, maybe it was easier to grow than what it might have been before. I don't know, but I felt like I got off on the right foot, which was great for me. And it felt like for me, things really snowballed, and maybe not snowballed as much as it might for other people, and it might not happen for others either. And it's hard, because streaming is very much a luck thing. You can't just put your stream up one day and then just go, look, I'm gonna make it as a streamer.
So
there's a lot of work that goes into it, but I feel like I've had a good time of it, which is awesome for me to say, but it also does sound rude, because I know it sounds rude, because like, I'm not trying to belittle anyone else's efforts or anything like that, but I feel like things just worked for me when I started streaming.
Yeah, so I kind of understand where you're coming from with that. So, like, I'm going to put myself in your shoes now, right? And I guess there might be a degree to which our brains work a bit differently, because we're different people and stuff. And like for anyone who's wondering, this isn't like on the left hand side of the screen. Like this isn't a broadcast coming from like 15 years and 10 stone in the future. Like these are two different people.
We are real people.
We are two real separate people. So like obviously I came into your chat with that G Sniper and raid last May.
Yeah.
I have been in literally, so I'm a little bit further ahead than you on my sub to G. I'm into the 50s months. I've been in Jay's community for a long time. I've been on a lot of fucking nights with that guy, right?
There you go, swinging his dick chat.
Right, it's huge, my huge turtle dick. Right, so like I've been on a lot of raids in that time with Jay, right? And yours is the only channel that I've stuck in. I follow a lot of those people, and I watch a lot of those people on occasion, but yours is the only channel that I've stuck in. So there's and there's definitely for me there's a reason for that. There's actually I'm fucking struggling to think. Why the fuck have I hung about you for all this time? So there's the community and the people that are there and the friends that I've made along the way, and that being the end game for the game that we're all such fans of and all that kind of thing. But like there's a big part of that is like is just sort of generally finding you entertaining and like liking watching you playing video games, and you know, and all of that kind of stuff, you know. So remember when I first started watching you used to do Thought on a Thursday? I still remember that day of you playing Breath of the Wild and your good shield getting you like accidentally dropping your good shield while you were fighting this huge big dragon thing.
That fucking took me hours to get back.
And then it took you hours to get it back. Like that was
Don't get me started how much pain I went through that day.
But that was so good though, do you know what I mean? Like, and then like being like, as I say, being part of that, watching that grow up, watching that community come into its adolescence where it kind of is just now, and like knowing where that's all, you know, knowing what the direction of travel for that is. Like I think, you know, I'm probably speaking for a lot of people that are in chat here just now as well. Like I know that day that Twitch give you that tick, like I will have a tear in my eye. Like I know I will. Like I'm already like.
Thank you very much.
I already know what that day's going to be like. Like that day where you hit those requirements and you submit that application and Twitch come back.
Yeah.
I see that tweet that morning that says like, you know, the one that everybody does, like the screenshot of you're invited to the partner program kind of thing. Like I will be incredibly proud of that. Like you and again, all of us here are rooting for that to happen.
Yeah, I appreciate that, and I mean I know it's a long journey, and as I say, like what is it now? So you think I'm a year and a half nearly into my journey, and
well, I was 18 months sub to the day.
Yeah, so there you go, a year and a half into my journey, but basically, and it happens quicker for some people and it takes a lot longer for others, and for me to nearly be at that point where I can send in that application and apply for Twitch partner and stuff like that. It's just a tremendous effort, and it will certainly be an achievement that will stick with me for life, because it's not an easy thing to do. As I say, like not a lot of people get to that position. Not a lot of people get close to that position. And
well, you saw the numbers the other week. Like when Twitch put out that thing, like in the last year, they've created 50,000 new partners and like something like 1.2 million new affiliates. So so there's the difference. That's the kind of ratio you're working with. Like exactly. If you want to move from affiliate to partner, the odds against you doing that are like
it's
1,000 to 1.
It's nuts. Yeah, it's crazy, and that's even if you get accepted the first, second, third, fourth, sixth time, eighth time, whatever it is. Some people go through 10 applications before they get accepted.
Look at Butters, look at Addy, look at someone who's there just now, Pigeon. You know, those are people who we are all friends with and we all watch, and you can quite easily say those are people who deserve to be partnered.
Mm.
But
100%.
But it's taken them all 3 applications at least.
Yeah, so I mean, we'll keep going and we'll keep grinding it out, and we won't put much emphasis on it because I don't want to put any emphasis on people being there if they don't have to be. Like I don't want to ever force something that shouldn't need to be forced. Like it should come naturally, and I'm very much a person. I've spoken about it in my streams before. I'm very much a person about organic growth, and it's where I want it. It's where I want the tick to come from. When it does happen, I want it to come from an organic place. And it's something that I will always strive for. Hopefully one day we get it, and it'll be a moment I will treasure. I'll be very proud of, because it would have been a lot of hard work. A lot of emotion would have gone into that. A lot of awesome moments. A lot of fun would have gone into that, and that's the main thing. Is thinking about the good memories of getting there. So yeah, when we do, and if obviously we get there, it's certainly going to be a good monumental achievement, and nothing I would not have been able to do without an awesome community behind me. So
I think for me, the thing that speaks the most of you, like as a person and as a streamer, it would have been really easy for you to start partner pushing 6 months ago, and you've always been like, I want it to happen organically, I want it to happen properly, and I want to do it the right way, like the way that's right for me and the way that's right for my community. And there are a lot of streamers out there that don't see it that way, that they'll get to, like, they'll get to sort of 50, 60 average viewers, and then they'll be like, right, it's fucking time to put the hammer down here.
Yeah, and
that works great for some people, and and friends of ours have had that success by doing it that way.
Yeah, I mean, partner push is just a term I hate, because it's false growth, and it's very rarely something that you're going to maintain once becoming partnered. A lot of people are there for the moment. A lot of people are there for that tick to happen and that tweet to go live. But after that, they're not really at the end of their treasured part of your community. I'm there to build a community and for us all to benefit from that growth. I'm not there for to invite an extra 10 people in for a couple of months to get those numbers up and to get those percentages where they need to be, just for them to leave and not actually be part of our community. It feels criminal to do it to the community. So I hate the partner push thing. But that's just me. It works for some people, and that's absolutely great. And 100%, I appreciate the effort that people go through. It's not just all the partner push. They're still putting huge amount of effort into their streams and into their work. But almost some of that is kind of negated from the desire for people to be there. And I don't want a desire for people to be there. I just want people to be there. That's it, plain and simple.
Excellent, man. That feels like a really positive note to finish on. And we're an hour and a half in exactly, almost. So give us a bit of closing, chaps. I know everybody over here probably is already a rock solid member of your community, but tell the people where they can find you.
Absolutely. So if you don't know me already, my name's Chaps. I do primarily play a lot of Destiny 2. We do like to do a lot of PvE endgame helps. You can find me at www.twitch.tv/chaps_28. And all the socials you can find me at is at chaps_28 as well. So that's Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, and everything like that. Just as it's spelt, just down there.
Just as it says there.
Just as it says there. Chaps underscore. Just put an app before it and you'll be there.
Chaps_69. Good.
Try that as well. You might find something completely different.
Don't Google that shit just in case. Or at least open an incognito window first.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, one of those safe browsers.
Yeah, dude. Thanks so much for being on tonight. I have had a ball.
Hopefully I appreciate you having me on, man. Appreciate you. Obviously, this is going to be. I like this format. It's an awesome format, and I think it's going to be a good show, man. So good luck to you as well on future shows.
Thanks, brother.
Thanks for having me on.
Excellent, man. I'll see you again soon. Take care.
Thank you very much.
Au revoir.
Au revoir. Thank you, chat, for being awesome.